Hi everyone. In this video today, I'm going to talk about the housing predictions for 2022 here in Fairfield, Westport, Weston, Easton, Connecticut, and all of Fairfield County. What we are experiencing in these towns, we are experiencing all throughout the county, and actually it's happening nationally. So I want to give you 3 key statistics that will be indicators of what will happen in the coming year for the housing market. So at the end of the video, I'm going to give my advice to home sellers and particularly to home buyers navigating this market. Let's first talk about 2021. It was a record-breaking year in the housing market. We had historically low inventory and still do. We had double-digit percentage increase in home prices, and we had a very fast market, plus very low, historically low interest rates. And it really came down to supply and demand. There just wasn't enough supply to satisfy the high demand. And what happened is we had increase in home prices because there were multiple offers and people were going above asking, substantially over asking because they wanted to win the house. And what has happened is now that is the bar. These home prices are staying. They are even expected to increase for this coming year. And we are still experiencing those same trends right now, January 2022. I always get the question, why is supply so low and why is demand so high? There's no one answer to that question, but the pandemic did impact greatly the housing market. The low supply had to do with, people staying in place, not putting their house on the market, just hunkered down, waiting to see what was going to happen. And then when people were putting their houses on the market, the buyers that were coming, many times it was cash offers, multiple offers, people renting. So that group of people that want to downsize or upgrade were not part of the conversation. They weren't even in the market. And that's a big part of the supply when you think about it, because people have to sell their house to buy if they want to upgrade or downside. They need those funds. They are not on the market, and because they couldn't compete in those multiple offer situations, because no seller was going to take an offer that had a home contingency when they had a cash offer in hand. So that's one of the main reasons for the low supply. And then the high demand has to do with, number one, the whole aspect of home. What does home mean? People wanted to have a place where they could have a home office, an exercise room, they could do homeschooling. It had a different purpose and meaning for a lot of people. And because they could work remotely, they were able to expand the area where they would be living. So we had this high demand of people changing their lifestyle. We had 34% of millennials or first-time homebuyers. That number is actually expected to increase in 2022. Now we have a country that has saved trillions of dollars because they weren't going out to dinner, they weren't going on vacation, they might have got the stimulus, they may not have had to pay their student loan for months. They were saving their money, so now they have money for a down payment. So that's adding to the demand. If you're looking at rentals, those have gone up just as much as home prices. Do people want to continue to rent, or would they rather put money in an investment? And then also the low interest rates, historically low interest rates, so the cost of money was very cheap. So all of those things together created this supply-demand situation that we're still in today. So let's talk about the 3 key indicators that are going to determine the housing market for 2022. Number 1, interest rates. We already know they're going to be increasing. The Fed has announced that they're going to increase them 3 times, and in the month of January, we have seen them tick up. There are a number of organizations that have predicted that these rates will be in the high 3s by the end of the year. Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae both predict around 3.7 by the end of the year. So you can assume that interest rates will go up. Also keep in perspective that this past year, it was historically low mortgage rates. Since 2016, the last 5 years, the mortgage rates have not gone under 4%, except for 2018. They were in the 4s for a little while, but they typically have been under 4% all those years. The increase in interest rates will impact your mortgage payment. So that is something to keep in mind. The second key indicator will be inventory. We need more inventory in order to calm down the housing prices. So we're definitely hoping for more inventory and that more sellers that are downsizing or want to upgrade will start to enter the market. But there will continue to be increased competition for those homes in a desirable location and move-in ready. We have seen those particular homes go pretty much like hotcakes. The last indicator will be home prices. If home prices continue to increase, some people may be priced out of the market, but is that what's expected? Many of the top economists are still expecting home prices to increase due to the supply and demand issue, but not at a double-digit percentage increase we have seen the last couple years. So they are expecting more between a 2 and 7% nationally. And here's a chart to show you where they are on that. But they are not expected to decrease. So if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for these houses to decrease in price, it's just not going to happen. We have, this is the new bar. What people are paying is the new market price. Here's my advice for sellers and buyers in this market. Sellers, the advice is pretty simple. Don't wait. If you're thinking of selling, this is prime time. You're getting top dollar for your home, and there's still quite a bit of demand for homes here in the area. One of the major problems for sellers right now is, how can I sell when I have nowhere to go? We have solutions for that, ways to work around that. I mean, there's people that have gone into short-term rentals. We have had longer close times so people can find something to buy. We've had people rent back. So there's lots of different options in order to make it work for you to take advantage and cash out in this particular market. And my advice for home buyers in this seller's market is, don't give up. Just don't give up. I know there was buyer fatigue going on. People were really upset losing all of these multiple offers. And I know it's difficult, but you just never know. I mean, you can't assume every single house has multiple offers. And now instead of 15 offers you're competing against, sometimes it's only 3. It depends on the house and the situation, but don't give up, because you never know what's around the corner, and you never know if you could be the backup offer too. So the opportunity is there, and you're not going to get the house if you're not in the game. You have to stay in the game in order to succeed. And my other big piece of advice for home buyers is, just assume the mortgage rate's at 4%. It's not right now, but if you go in and you calculate that number for your monthly payment, so you know that that's where you could possibly be, that way when you find a house finally, and if the mortgage rates have gone up, you're not shocked at the increase in your mortgage payment. So just know every percentage point that goes up, like every maybe 0.25, calculate in your head what that is, so that you are not surprised when you get to that point of finally finding your home and then realizing what your mortgage payment is. So that is my best advice for home buyers in this market. And to home buyers, if you are thinking of moving or relocating here, make sure you go and check out my other videos on what it's like to live in this Fairfield County area. I've done ones on specific towns and neighborhoods, and you might find that information helpful when you're deciding where you may want to live and your price point. Also, follow me on Instagram, where I post regularly local information and local market information you may find helpful on your journey to home ownership. Thanks for watching. Reach out anytime, and I'll see you on the next one.